Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and here I am behind me. Here is my garden, and as you can see, it's looking great. And I have a very small yard, and I know on video sometimes it looks big, but it's not as big as it often looks. Today on the show, I am going to a farm, a private farm, where they're growing trees and they're also growing greens in a garden. And a lot of the videos I do are at big farms, and I always discuss the difference between big farms and smaller farms. Farms in local neighborhoods like mine, or farms not in local neighborhoods, and so on. So I try to mix it up, so I give everybody a little bit of some information of how people are doing it, so you can get some ideas. Well, today on the farm, I'm at Blue Horizon Farm. They're in Homestead, Florida, and I'll put their contact information below. They have about 1.5 acres, I believe it was. They have some really cool fruit trees. They have a wonderful green selection in their garden. And this is one of the smaller farms I'm going to visit that I like their products and what they're doing. And they also sell sauerkraut, and they make kimchi and sauerkraut and fermented foods. And they also sell their greens locally. But their fruit trees, they enjoy the fruit from that. Just a wonderful place, so check it out. Okay, everybody, here we are at Blue Horizon Farm in the Redlands.
Welcome.
This is Laura. It's her farm, and here's some of her crew helpers.
Hey guys, I'm Austin.
We have Austin and Laura. And all right, so how long has this farm been in existence?
We've been here for about 9 years.
9 years. Did you have another farm before this, or was this your first one?
Yeah, my husband and I have been together for the past 26 years, and we've farmed here and there off and on, different places that we've lived. But yeah, so we've been farming it pretty much for the past like 5 years, more seriously than the first few years we were here.
And what was your main reason for coming out and doing this?
For farming in general?
Yes.
I think it's just important to, learn how to live simply and live off. We're like one of those back to the land movement type people. So I think, if you really want to live a simplistic lifestyle and do the minimalist lifestyle, you kind of need to learn how to grow your own food.
Okay,
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
Well, show us what you got growing on here.
Sure. We've got a whole orchard on this side full of many different types of tropical fruit trees.
How big is your land here?
It's 1.5 acres, 1.5 acres.
Okay. So, this here is soursop tree, right?
Yeah, I wish my husband was here to be able to tell you all the names of all the trees.
Are these, is
yeah.
these seeded or grafted?
These are all from Laura Farms.
Okay.
Almost all of them.
So these are Miami soursops. Yes.
Okay.
They
yes.
are. Those are good soursops to have. Yes. Excellent. Okay.
Grafted
And they're
varieties.
what, about a year or two old?
The tree itself is probably, a couple of years old. We just planted out our entire orchard recently thanks to a grant that we got from the American Farmland Trust. So that was pretty exciting because for the first few years we were here, we were putting in fruit trees, as we could afford it. Buy a few at a time, put them in. And then just recently got awarded that grant this past year, 2020 actually. And we're able to clear the whole rest of the farm and, have a bobcat operator come out and drill the big holes and buy all the fruit trees and get them all planted.
Okay. So show us what you got.
All right. Let's see. Well, there's papayas. Way too tall.
So there's some tall papayas up
We
there.
got more like baby ones coming. Yeah, once they're that tall, they're kind of too hard to harvest from, but still get a few from them.
Okay.
There's a Monstera Deliciosa,
Oh, that's really taken off. Wow.
which is kind of an accident that just took off.
That's a nice mini tree you got there, coconut.
Yeah, it's already fruiting and it's pretty short.
Very good. What's this here?
I'm not sure of the variety names of any. It's in the custard apple family. It's probably a soursop or a custard apple. I wish I knew all the names.
Okay.
Might be a Rollinia. No, I don't think it's a Rollinia.
No, this looks like maybe a canisteel, no? Do you have a
Oh
canisteel?
yeah, I guess it could be.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. I'm not sure.
A mango row.
Yeah, we're trying to do dwarf varieties of mangoes. So some of them make it and some of them don't. Like the Beverly here is one of the healthiest looking mangoes we finally got going.
All
We've
right.
had a lot of difficulty with growing mangoes on this farm. I'm not sure why. We've tried just about everything. Spoken with Richard Campbell of Mango Men Homestead. tried to figure out, you know, exactly what they need, and still they end up dying on us, even though we're doing all the things he told us to do. So you kind of have to keep trying. Don't give up. Keep trying. If they die, go get another one and put it in its place and try again. Learn from your mistakes. Certain varieties, I think, do better than other varieties. So this is a Carrie, Mango, Beverly, Angie, and then I don't even know all the names of these mangoes. A whole bunch of them. But you plant these kind of closer together because you want to keep them dwarf size.
How far apart are they?
8 feet.
8 feet, okay.
Yeah, 8 feet apart for these. The rest of them are like the bigger trees, Jackfruit and Atamoya and Rolini, all those are like 20 feet apart.
So what's this growing on the bottom here?
Comfrey, we have a ton of comfrey around this farm. I'd like to have it everywhere, but so far I have it kind of here and there. It's a great bioaccumulator of minerals. So it's a great thing to make foliar feed, you know, compost teas out of, because it's so fast growing and so mineral dense. So just chop it down to the ground, take all those leaves, stick them in buckets, let them ferment for about a week, and then strain it out and mix it. I think it's 1 part compost to 4 parts water, if I'm not mistaken. Is that about what we do? No, or is it 50-50? I forget the ratio right now. And then you can feed that, you know, mineral-rich water onto the leaves of all your trees and all your vegetables. So, and they propagate extremely easily. If you have the one little piece of root, you'll have enough for the rest of your life because it very quickly starts propagating itself and making more of itself. And then you can just, you know, dig up a plant and divide it up and spread that around your farm.
It grows so fast. Like when I cut this like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Like,
it's already
down to
full
the
size.
ground, and now it's full size again. It's crazy.
Wow.
Those are the Monstera Delicioso fruits. I don't know if you want to show them that. There's some fresh ones,
Oh, yeah,
and there's one that's ready to harvest under there. A couple that are ready to harvest.
Like that.
So
Yes,
make sure
wonderful.
they're nice and plump and laying down before you harvest them. Just kind of break them right off.
Oh, so they're pointing up like that, but when they're ready,
Right.
they lay down.
These aren't ready; they're still immature.
Yeah.
But those are mature and ready to harvest.
Otherwise, they
Nice.
burn your throat like a pineapple.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you know what you're doing if you're going to eat that fruit.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so there's your mangoes, and you got some bigger trees in the background. You said you got some stuff here too.
Sapodilla over here.
Okay. Do you know what variety of sapodilla that is?
I don't know if I had the list on me, I'd be able to tell you. I don't have the list.
That's okay. So you're running water to all of your trees?
Yeah, we have a little irrigation running to all the baby trees. Once they're big enough, you don't really need to irrigate them.
And what's that?
Jaboticaba,
Okay, nice.
butterfly pea vine growing around our pump house. An almond verbena bush. Smells lovely. Lots of cranberry hibiscus. I actually just bought one of these plants from Ready to Grow Gardens many, many years ago. And now it just kind of propagates itself, volunteers itself everywhere.
That's wonderful, yes. You eat that in salads. You love it, huh?
Yeah, you can eat in salad. We flavor kombucha with it. I make kombucha at Counterculture Kombucha, and we flavor with cranberry hibiscus leaf.
Nice.
So let's head over this way.
Okay.
Oh, here's the Lula avocado.
Nice.
Yep, so she's doing pretty good. There's a disease in, I don't know if it's everywhere in the world or what, but it's definitely happening in South Florida called the bay laurel wilt. And a lot of avocado orchards have just been taken out with it. So when you plant one, you're really taking a chance. You know, we're praying that it makes it. So far, so good. Looks good. There's the Geffner Atamoya.
The big tree?
A lot of fruit for us this year.
Wow,
Delicious.
that's pretty big.
Delicious fruit. Finally. Takes several years sometimes till they finally kick in and make some fruit.
How old's that tree?
That one we planted in the beginning, so it's probably a good 5 or 6 years old. 6 years old.
I think he said he planted this whole row like 6 years.
6 years ago, yeah. This is the Ackee. This is my favorite fruit. The state fruit of Jamaica, I guess.
Is it the hard one or the soft one?
Yeah,
Do you know?
Oh, you
It's
know
a
what?
little crunchy.
I didn't know there was a hardness soft.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's different
yeah.
varieties.
Yeah, there's pretty much
Because
two.
I like the soft one.
Oh, that makes
And
sense.
these I haven't liked so much, but I thought maybe it was because it wasn't mature enough yet. But
Huh.
now you
Yeah.
gave me something to think about. I might have to go get the soft kind. I didn't realize there was two kinds. Rollinia, we have a few Rollinia trees. They don't do as well here. I guess they need more tropical weather. I'm not really sure. If anybody knows.
How old's
what
that
makes them
tree?
fruit. That's another 7-year-old.
Have you gotten anything off of it?
No. Well, one or two. We got like a few.
Yeah.
Not many. It should be loaded.
There's tons of flowers.
Yeah, it flowers nicely, but making fruit is another story sometimes. We have a few of the, I think 4 or 5 Rollinia trees.
Oh, wow.
This is an egg fruit that I'm not crazy about this variety. This is the Ross, I think.
Oh, Ross
that the one?
Sapote. Yeah, the Ross. Wow.
Ross Sapote, yeah.
Did you get a lot of fruit on this?
Yeah, Ross.
Oh.
It's loaded with fruit,
A
but
lot.
it's kind of a funny fruit because when you go, that's an old one, just kind of
Yeah.
stuck on there. But
It just ripens weird.
yeah, it's very strange fruit. I would rather just cut this one down and put in a Bruce or some other variety.
It's very tasty. It's just,
Yeah.
it's annoying to harvest. You know, it's like sometimes the stem falls off, sometimes they rot on the vine, sometimes they fall and, you know, they get eaten a lot. And they just go bad really fast.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
So I don't recommend the Ross.
But we planted the, what's the other one? Trumpo, the big.
Oh yeah,
So we're
it's sort of
hoping.
like the Bruce.
we're
More
hoping that
excited
one.
about that.
Yeah.
That's still a baby, but it should do well. I could show you real quick over here. I bought some because we used to live in Hawaii, and we're kind of like Hawaiian papaya snobs because we really love the strawberry papayas from Hawaii. And I found some online, I think through Etsy or Craigslist. I can't remember exactly where I found this guy, but he's in California, and you know he raised them organically. So I finally have actual strawberry papayas growing. I just have 5 planted, and they're getting big. So I got my fingers crossed that these will be some of the best papayas, reminding us of the Hawaiian papayas that we love so much. So, is this a black sapote? I
believe
think that's
so.
Black sapote.
Yes,
Black
yes.
Sapote. Looks like a nice healthy specimen. There's a white sapote. This guy right here is one of the fastest growing tropical fruit trees. It is the biggest one we have over there. There's
Oh, you have a big white
huge
sapote.
white sapote.
Do you know what variety that is?
I don't know the variety, but it's loaded with fruit come
The big
fruiting
one.
season.
Yes, so
A
good.
really big one.
So good.
And sometimes, you know, you get a fruit tree and it just doesn't do well. So cut it out.
What
and
tree
put a
was
new-
that?
There's a jackfruit. Another one I think we got from Lara Farms. Either Lara Farms or Pine Island Nursery. That's pretty much where we've only ever gotten fruit trees. And so that one's going to be cut down, put a different one in place. Another Ackee. I don't know if it's the soft or the hard kind. I wish I knew. That one hasn't fruited yet. Here's a Kaimito, a purple star apple. It's doing all right, but hasn't fruited yet. This one's going to get really big. Here's another Lula avocado. This does make some fruit, but they tend to fall off easily. But she's still hanging in there, so got her fingers crossed.
Look at that.
Sapadilla.
We got a lot of
Oh,
sapote
there's
coming in.
a bunch up there, but we're not quite sure how to harvest.
Do you know what variety it is?
I don't remember. I
Okay.
wish my husband was here. Maybe he'll roll up any minute. We have a nice big black sapote in the corner over here.
Yeah, we just harvested 20 pounds off that
Wow.
tree.
And we got vanilla vines growing up a lot of our fruit trees here. We just invested in a bunch of vanilla. So on the other side, you can see
Sure.
vanilla vine coming up. We take banana leaves and make sort of rope out of them and tie them onto the tree with the banana leaf. Just like a piece of old, you know, banana leaf. Makes a good
Okay,
tie.
that's a nice
Like a
tree.
zip tie, my husband calls them.
Mhm.
Sapadilla.
There's one black sapote.
Oh,
I
you
don't know.
what did we
I
miss
don't know
one?
if you can see it. Well, it's not ready yet. I told them. There's one up there. They really blend
Hard
in.
to see, they do. They're very
Yeah,
hard.
they do
We
blend
tried
in.
really hard.
That's the border of our property there. Our neighbors are growing that dragon fruit. They let us have a couple of them, didn't they? Give us
Yeah.
a couple dragon fruit from
They were
that.
pretty good, yeah.
Eventually, we'd
Oh,
like to
which
have a lot
dragon
of
fruit right here?
Yeah, that's
It's a
the dragon
white,
fruit
white
vine.
dragon fruit.
That's your neighbors?
Yeah, that's the neighbor grew that one.
And they also have these longan trees along here,
Oh,
which
yeah.
we kind of
These are
cut
their
back.
longan.
What are they growing actually over there?
That's just a commercial nursery. They grow plants for
Is this your
ornamental.
neighbors, the
Yeah, that's
commercial
the
nursery?
neighbors over there.
No, the nursery owns these trees?
Yeah, owns the longan trees. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. But they don't fruit very well. They're very old trees, and they were blocking the sun for our fruit trees.
Yeah,
so
the white sapote and
cut them back.
the
Made the big pile of branches. This is Austin's super cool tent.
This is Paul's favorite jackfruit. I know
Oh.
Paul likes it.
With that black gold?
Black gold.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a soft variety.
Nice. You
Yeah.
get some on there?
Some. It hasn't really kicked in much yet. We still, need to figure out some tips and tricks about how to make these trees fruit the way you would think they would be when they're this big. When we got here, we planted this thing. It was only a couple feet tall, and now it's big. So where's the fruit? Still working on it. We put a lot of compost and mulch around them every year. They keep getting mulched and composted. The white sapote. This is a great climbing tree, by the way. If anybody
Wow.
likes to climb trees.
Oh yeah, it's just started
This is a
flowering.
wonderful tree climbing tree.
That's a great
flower.
fruit. Have you had those, Austin?
Oh yeah,
Have you had
look at
those?
the little baby.
Oh yeah,
So
I had these
good.
when I first got here. Amazing.
Yeah.
Baby white sapotes. No, those are delicious.
Just at the end of the season.
Watch your stuff here.
Yep.
There's a lychee under the badminton net. Another lychee here. Ackee and Sweetheart, maybe? I can't remember the names,
Brewster?
the variety names. Oh, Brewster, maybe?
The big one.
There's a Rollinia. We're looping back around here. We used to grow a lot of the pigeon pea or gandules because they're a great nitrogen fixing plant. So they're great for planting around your fruit trees and doing what's called
Chop and
chop and drop. So you're cutting them back with a machete or some loppers or something and then just laying them down as mulch around the bases of your fruit trees. So I recommend those for people starting a farm.
There's a green Romano up there.
Oh, wow,
Okay.
yeah.
You see one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you got a good eye.
Yeah.
I'm not even I still don't see it.
Okay.
I trust you.
Another linear. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, she had a couple on
Oh, I
her.
got the red bananas.
Oh yeah, there's we used to have about a dozen different varieties of bananas. I'm not sure I still have a dozen because you find out over time which ones produce the best, and if they don't really produce a banana that you like, you kind of get rid of them. Just let them compost. This is a red one. It's a very finicky variety to grow. This has been here forever, and it's finally making a decent sized bunch. That bunch, though, I mean, I've seen red banana bunches that are twice that size.
Yes.
So it's a hard one. That's a hard one to grow. We're not giving up on it though. I think this is ice cream banana. This one's amazing.
Nom
This one I recommend highly. It's got a great bunch.
Oh, that's my favorite
This has
variety.
been like one big old fat bunch after another. So
That's
this is a great
great.
variety. There's another jackfruit tree. That's one we're not crazy about because it's the soft kind. We just still haven't had the heart to cut it down yet, but we might cut it down because we don't really like soft jackfruit. We like the crunchy kind. These are our composting bins. Dwarf Brazilian bananas. There's a bunch there. That's another really hard one to get to produce a decent amount of fruit. So it's my favorite tasting banana, but I don't really recommend growing it, unfortunately. It just doesn't make a lot of food, The Namois, now that's where it's at.
Oh, you gotta show him the bunch over
Oh yeah,
there.
check out
Crazy.
we started planting some bamboo along the border over there. So there's one bunch. That's a pretty decent sized bunch.
Yeah, that's nice.
They'll get nice and
Very
plump,
nice.
and they are delicious. That's probably like the very best, in my opinion, variety of banana.
Agreed.
I love the Namois.
There's this one. So
Oh, yeah,
this
Jamaica
is
cherry,
this is the
which is-
Jamaica cherry, also known as Panama cherry, which is this tree right here. I believe it's also 6 years old. I love this thing, and it
that
fruits.
one's not as. That one is a very, very fast growing tree. It's not 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like maybe 3 or 4 years old.
But it tastes like cotton candy, and it's fruits like
Yeah.
multiple
Captain
times a year.
Crunchberry, it's
Captain
also
Crunch,
called.
yeah.
Tastes like
It's
Captain
so
Crunch.
good. It's like
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah. Sometimes that thing is loaded with cherries, and the ground is just red from how many cherries are all over the ground. This is a pink custard apple. It's beginning to fruit. It's making little baby fruits.
Nice.
This one is a great producer for us.
Cherry cheesecake flavor. It's
Okay, I don't know if I would. anything good. They're all good. Another Rollinia with another vanilla vine attached to the base.
We just harvested one of the biggest ones off the property so far. From that one.
What, Rollinia?
Yeah, it
Nice.
was like a good.
Oh, that was from our trees?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe you had purchased that from somewhere other. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was from our trees. We had a bunch of mulberries. Here's one remaining.
Is that the Pakistani?
Mulberry, everbearing mulberry. This is the Huang Tung starfruit, which is loaded with starfruit. Just drips all over the ground. It's kind of a fun scene underneath just to look up and see all the nice, soft, sweet, juicy starfruit. It's loaded.
Yep, it certainly is.
We dehydrate them, make them into little stars and dehydrate them and juice them and just eat them. You want to see the garden? That was most of the orchard. I didn't show you. This is the Williams banana. This was a variety wheat that did really well in Hawaii, but here, not so well. So we probably won't keep that one forever. This one's doing okay, but bananas really, if they're crowded like this and there's way too many in one single pad, you know, they all compete for the nutrients and the light from the sun and any water they get, and then they don't produce very big, full bunches. So ideally, when you grow bananas, you wouldn't let more than maybe 5 be growing at a time.
Like a few
feet
apart.
Start getting more, just start digging them out or
Yeah.
just cutting them down, because you don't want them to have to compete with each other. I grow some Avocado Ginger or shampoo ginger. This is one spot. At this time of year, they're all kind of dying back, but this is kind of what the plants look like. They make these little cones that come up, little red cones underneath, and you can break one off and wash your hair with it, wash your body with it. Excellent tonic for your hair and your skin. Lots of holy basil everywhere. I love holy basil. This is the Krishna variety. These are dwarf Cavendish, which is another variety I'm really not crazy about. They're just another finicky variety. Hard to grow. And that's Rajapuri. I have
Indian
another
banana.
mulberry in the corner and a plumeria. And then this is the garden. We have a row of yucca that's ready to harvest. Lots of yucca. You could probably walk down the path one of these beds.
A lot of collards
So
here.
we grow organically and biointensively. We learned how to grow biointensive in Hawaii and from John Jevons. And you basically trying to grow as much food as you can grow in a space. So you learn what the needs are of each individual plant, and you want to plant them according to how big they're going to get, so that the plant, the little crop, the space that you've planted out becomes like a canopy, and it suppresses weeds underneath. Yeah, so there's a lot of weeds mixed in here. But
Yeah, we gotta weed it.
yeah, we need to weed. This is a nice lettuce head.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
Muir,
very cool.
it's called.
Muir, yeah, like John Muir, M-U-I-R. That's a great variety to grow here in South Florida.
It's kind of like
The
romaine.
collards are amazing. They just keep on producing. They become trees.
You see the green?
Eventually, the stems just kind of take off.
Yeah,
Big old collards.
there's some green onions there.
Calendula. I make a comfrey and calendula skin salve. So I break off these flowers and dehydrate them and make salves out of
Bok
those.
choy?
Yep. Well, these are actually pak choy.
Pak choy.
This one looks beautiful. I should take a picture of that one.
It is beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
And here's all your kale. You got
Yeah, a bunch of kale. We usually grow like 5 times this amount of kale, but this year we didn't grow as much. We have some jalapenos, cilantro. I have actual cotton growing here. I'm trying to grow Mississippi brown cotton. I'm excited about it because I like to do a lot of crafting and working with natural fibers and things I can grow and make from nature. So I'm hoping these guys actually grow up big enough to make cotton.
Very cool.
Baby, that's a different bok choy variety.
That one. What's that?
That's a sprouting bok
This
choy.
is going to seed or bolting.
Okay.
When they do that, they're going to seed. So
Okay.
you don't eat them, and you can let 1 or 2 go when you have a crop of them and save your seed. Once they're dried, you can cut them all off and save seed.
Right out of here, right out of the yellow part, you're going to get the
Yeah,
seeds?
eventually that's going to make a seed.
Beautiful.
A lot of seeds. 1 plant is all you need, really. There's some old arugula plants. This is an eggplant, ping pong long variety.
Beautiful plants here. What are these?
Those are flamingo feather celosia. They're just, before it flowers, it's actually edible. It's called Largo spinach because it kind of tastes like spinach. If I had an example of a small one, I could show you. But I got one flower pod many years ago, same kind of story, from this lady that has, it's called Redland Organic Herb Farm. And she gave me one little seed pod, and now I planted it and I have it everywhere. It's just a volunteer. I don't have to plant it anymore. The bees and the butterflies love it. So it supports their habitat. And then the beds go this way. So, you know, a lot of our garden beds are like in transition, getting ready to be planted out with a new crop.
And what's this here?
It's a daikon radish. I like to make kimchi. So I'll be making kimchi out of a lot of those, and we'll sell them to the public as well.
And vertically, you have some stuff growing up there?
Yep, we can go down that way if you want to show you those beds. Those are the Romano beans, or it's an Italian, like a long flat bean. Those are delicious. Here's some garlic chives. This is a big compost pile we got started here. We had a whole bed for 2 years of turmeric here. And we just finished harvesting all of it. So, yeah, that was wonderful. Very productive. Pachucha peppers. This is a sweet, very flavorful pepper, but the seeds are spicy.
Wow.
This is turmeric in here. So those have been producing
A whole
pretty
row
well.
of those,
The Pachucha
okay.
pepper is a good one to grow in South Florida. This is the Romano bean. Big, beautiful, flat Italian beans.
Very nice.
They're delicious.
Growing them right up here on the vine.
Yeah. Trellis there. And then down here we have some passion fruit. That's a passion vine. Trying to see if it'll actually make fruit. Had a lot of trouble actually getting passion vines to make fruit. And we've gone to the trouble of learning how to pollinate them with, little paintbrushes and everything, and they still won't fruit here. So maybe we're missing like a certain kind of bat or a certain kind of hummingbird or something to make them actually fruit. But we'll see. We keep trying. Lots of nasturtiums. Most of our nasturtiums are now volunteers. They just pop up.
And those are edible, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the leaf and the flower. Delicious.
You got a lot of tomatoes here.
These are the citrine tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes we find do the best in South Florida. And then these are indigo cherry drops. You can see some, like, that's the color they'll turn, the ones that have fallen on the ground. They'll turn like a nice orange.
You got all this pineapple here.
Yeah, a row of pineapple. Pineapples do really well here. And we just picked all the tomatoes, so you don't really get to see what they look like ripe on the vine.
Or taste any either.
Yeah, well, no, there's a whole bowl of them inside.
Good.
We'll show you. Don't worry.
Good.
A little patch of lemon balm, more nasturtiums, some Thai basil.
And you have this here, post in the ground.
Yeah, T-posts.
And held up right here.
Holding up
The cattle gate here. Good.
Good, strong trellis, because they got to hold a lot of weight.
Do you light fires here?
Yeah, we like to have little bonfires.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wonderful.
that's basically everything. Then we have a little greenhouse. I'll show you the greenhouse. We have a smattering of all different kinds of like fruit trees and things that haven't gotten in the ground yet over here. And all of our seeds we start in these these were either cedar wood or green heart wood that we make these flats 3-sided. And that way you're doing, there's some plastic hanging out here, but we're trying to do away with plastic on this farm. And this is one way to do it, to make wooden flats. And then you take, this is what's called a soil block maker. This one makes 12 at a time. And you fill up a bin like this with your potting mix. And once this is on the floor and wet enough, and you can push this down in, then you bring up the soil blocks and stick them in here and just line them up. Do 72 at a time in a flat like this size. So it's a great ecologically sound alternative to plastic in the greenhouse.
Very cool. Wonderful.
So those are all the baby ones getting ready to be planted out.
So what are those that you're growing there?
Which ones?
Right here.
This right here is little gem lettuce. It's a romaine relative, I think. I think it's, yeah, it's definitely like a romaine. Bok choy, Chinese cabbage. I love Chinese cabbage. I like to make kimchi out of that. We have onions. We have, what is that? Some kind of cabbage.
Do you make sauerkraut here or just
Yeah,
kimchi?
I make a lot of sauerkraut. That's like my claim to fame. So if I die, I want people to remember that I made sauerkraut.
Will you share your recipe ingredients?
Oh yeah, I mean, I just basically, you know, use cabbage, and then I'll add different ingredients, and I pretty much always do caraway seed, cumin seed, and fennel seed mixed in for flavor.
Sounds delicious.
And I try to do as many homegrown vegetables as I can when I make the sauerkraut, and I use a big 5-gallon crock and a big old wooden baseball bat to pound the cabbage and sea salt, and just let it ferment for about 10 days, and it's ready to go. But you can change, you know, your vegetables every time, just depending on what you have and what you want to put in there. But yeah, I'm a big sauerkraut. My German grandfather used to make it, so I grew up. It's kind of like an artisanal food for me. I'm continuing the family tradition by making it, because my dad also makes it. So yeah, it's very
Wonderful. Well, I like your greenhouse here.
Thank you. My husband built this too. Just kind of design.
No, I like it.
And then there's our house.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for showing us around here.
My pleasure.
All righty. And tell us the name of your farm. Do you want to name it or no?
Sure, yep. This is called Blue Horizon Farm. And I have an Instagram where people can follow me and direct message me for any questions. It's called Earthling Farmer 11, the number 1111. And we're open to the public on the weekends for people that are in the area and they want to buy produce from us. They can come pick up on Saturdays from our farm. And then we also sell things, you know, like the fermented foods that I make, and the salves, and some dried fruits and dried butterfly pea flowers. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for showing us around.
My pleasure.
All right, everybody. That was Blue Horizon Farm, and you can check out their information below this video. If you're in the Homestead, Florida area and you want to contact them, those tomatoes were amazing. The greens were great, and the fruit trees that they have there, they just need a little work, and they're going to get a whole bunch of fruit in the near future. And I'm really excited about that place, and I hope you are as well. Put your comments and questions below. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.